Hey there. Welcome to the clinic. Would you mind just confirming your date of birth for me? Excellent. And what were we seeing you for today? Okay, let me just jot that down. Good. And approximately when did that start for you? Okay. All right, so let me just check here. So in my chart, it looks like you have not had a physical examination in the last year. That's what this appointment was supposed to be. Okay, and then, yeah, you got sick. Okay. Well, then we can just go ahead and lump that together and two birds, one stone. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and grab your temperature. So, I've got one of these little fancy temporal thermometers. Let me just turn off the beeps there. I'm going to have you hold still, okay? Just going to place this right here, and we're going to sweep that across. Okay. Well, it's running like just a touch high, but not in the realm of a fever. Would you mind if I take your pulse real quick? Okay. Do you have a preference as to which wrist we use? Okay, so let's go right here. We're going to wait. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 15 seconds. So that's a big ol' 100 beats per minute, which is our uppermost limit for our normal limits. So do you feel out of breath? Does your heartbeat feel quite laborious at all? Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on those. Temp's just a little high. That pulse, especially, let's see. Yeah, that's not really normal for you. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and grab your blood pressure. Okay. Let's get this sphygmomanometer. Okay. So I'm going to put our little implements right here. And I am going to just have you slip the cuff in here, and then we're going to adjust that. That on there quite snugly. Okay, so I have a little dial here with a clip that I'm just going to put on the cuff, and then we'll keep the bulb out of the way. Let me make sure that that is, yeah, that's fully engaged. Okay, this is going to get quite tight, but it shouldn't be painful, just uncomfortable. All right, Let's go ahead and do just one more round. I like to double check. Blood pressure is 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury, which is well within our normal limits there. Okay, do you mind if I just take this off here? We'll get any of that remaining hair out. Very good, so 120 over 80 millimeters mercury. And then I have our little oximeter here. It's just a little clip that goes onto your finger, and that measures your oxygen level here. So I'm just going to clip that on. We'll wait for a moment. Oximeter has a little pulse meter as well. We'll see if that's changed. Good, and I'll take that off. Got a 99 of oxygen saturation, and our pulse reader there did give us a 94 beats per minute. So, might be just from the walk into the room, huh? Yeah, we'll check that later, I think, see if that's gone down. So, you've been fighting something off, huh? A little bit. Let me go ahead and just check your lymph nodes. And we'll see if I can get if there's any distension in there. Okay. Behind the ears. And right in front of the ears here. What's that? Let me just roll that over the mandible. Yeah, we've got a bit of distension there. Let's see, how mobile is that? Pretty so. It's not actually that distended, just a little bit. It's highly mobile. Submandibular. Here we are. Okay, let's keep going here. So, submental, submandibular, that's where that guy is. Okay, good. And then how about our cervical nodes? So we have if we have the sternocleidomastoid as our guide here, we have the anterior cervical, posterior cervical, and we have the deep cervical chain underneath the ischium. Okay, and then we have the supraclavicular nodes right in here. And those are all good, so it's just that little guy right there. Did you notice that? No? Okay. Just that one node. How have your sinuses been? Okay. They've been tender at all when you bend over? Do you get pain in these regions? No? Okay. I'm going to do a little tapping on them, if you don't mind. Anything? No? On the ethmoid sinuses here? No? And mandibular. No. Okay. So upon percussion, direct percussion, my sinuses were non-tender. Good. So let's go ahead and take a little peek at your nose, your mouth, and your throat, because a lot of those symptoms are pretty centered in that direction. I will not be putting the otoscope inside of your nose, but I'm just going to use that little bit of light there. Get it to behave there. Okay. Mind tipping your head back? Okay. All right. We have dry, irritated tissue here. And have you been having, you said you had a runny nose, right? Okay, dry tissue, postnasal drip, and septum is midline. How are our turbinates? Okay, gotcha. Alrighty, go ahead and just put your head back down there. I am going to test your ability to breathe out of either nasal passage for a moment. I'm going to occlude one side. I'm going to have you take a deep breath in through your nose and out. In and out. Good. In, out. In and out. Okay. So how was that? Yeah, you kind of had a little bit of that whistling like I do. That musical tone. We do have the postnasal drip. Okay, so we are going to grab the little flashlight and a new tongue depressor. So, would you mind just opening your mouth? And I'm going to take a peek around a few areas. Okay? So, we've got the teeth. No sign of any caries. Okay, I'm going to be a bit impolite and pull your lip down. Okay, gums are okay. And I'm going to pull the lip up. Yeah, no, pink, moist. They look like they're in the right spot, not receding. And we're going to get into the pocket of the cheek. Okay, salivary glands, buccal mucosa. Okay. Looks just fine. And whenever you tilt your head up, I want to see if I can look at the palate. Okay. So I'm not seeing any signs of sores. Sometimes when we're fighting off something, people can get oral sores. I know I have before. There's nothing there. Alrighty, could you lift your tongue to the roof of your mouth? Okay, good coloring. Looks good. And can you extend your tongue out of your mouth? There we go. Okay, a bit of scalloping here, so a bit of dehydration. And coating, normal, color, normal. I'm gonna have you keep your tongue out and say ah. Okay, there. And then let's look at the pharyngeal wall. No cobblestoning, but that definitely is rather red and irritated there. Okay. All right. Go ahead and close your mouth. Okay, so we've definitely matched up. Let's see, irritated. We've definitely matched up your symptoms with our physical exam. So we are going to just take a look at some other spots so we can do the general physical examination as well. So I'd like to start by looking at your head, taking a peek at your hair. Let me just grab a bit, looking at the texture. And I'm just going to grab one hair here. And we're going to test the strength. I've got two hairs they want to stick together. There we are. Okay, good strength there. Let's grab one from this side. There. So just wrap that around my finger. And pull. So this is how that works. We take a strand of hair. There we go. Hair. Wrap it around the finger and test its strength. That it's not brittle and it doesn't fall apart. And I'm just going to run my fingers through the hair and see how many hairs come back with my fingers. See if there's any hair loss. If we have any more than 10, then that suggests that you are losing your hair, but I'm not getting any hairs back, so they are pretty attached to your head. And just looking at your hair, you don't have any little baby hairs that suggest that you were at one point losing your hair. It all looks the same length. Okay, so let's look at the scalp. Okay, I'm just going to bring that back. We're going to check for lesions and signs of infestation, injury, and make sure that the lumps and bumps that should be there are there, and any that shouldn't be aren't. Okay, I have made your hair a bit of a mess, so me just smooth that down. There. That looks a lot better. Wouldn't let you leave my office with your hair all awry. That would be impolite. Smooth that back down. There we go. Very nice. Good. And then just want to take a peek at your skin. And I did notice that your eyes are pretty red, but I wanted to give them their full attention when we got to looking at your eyes. Skin's a bit dry, huh? Just from the winter, or is that recent? Okay, been battling that a bit. I totally understand that. Okay, so no hyperpigmentation, lesions, anything like that. Good. No suspicious little spots. And the skin is warm and dry, not hot, not cold or clammy. Actually, why don't we go ahead and just measure your pulse again real quick. So just wait for the clock to go to 15. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 22. So we've gone down to 88 beats per minute. So that's a little bit better, I think. I think it was just that bit of exertion. And I imagine you're a little more tired and run down. Body's working a little harder, yeah? So why don't we go ahead and take a peek at your eyes. So like I said, I noticed the redness, and they're a little puffy. Are you getting enough water, do you think? Your tongue had those scallop marks. That suggests that maybe not so much. Okay, I would err on the side of getting more water or more liquids in general if you can. If you're not really a fan of water, tea, a little bit of flavoring, chicken broth, vegetable broth, stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to pull down on your eyelid here. Have you look up. Okay, and then look down. Down. Good, and go ahead and look up. And look down. Okay, so that's pink, but kind of a dark pink, not red, but I do want to note that down rather. Dark pink conjunctival tissue. And then eyelashes, eyebrows, good. Lacrimal glands, yeah, little on the darker pink side. Sclerae, pretty pinkish. And let's go ahead and just look at the pupils. I'm gonna have you just look at the curtain back there If you look right here. Good. Okay. Just looking at the pupillary response here. Good. Go ahead and just look back here. Alright, and then right here. We're basically just resetting your eyes. And then testing the pupillary response. Good. Okay, right back here. And then right here. Good. Okay, and one last look right over here. And right here. Good. Okay. And then there. Good. So we are equal, round, reactive to the light. Now, I am going to be watching your eyes, and I'm going to be telling you a few directions and where to look. So, if I were to say, look to your right, that'd be that way. Just like that. If I were to say, look to your left, like that. Okay, look up. Down, diagonally up and to the right, diagonally up and to the left, diagonally down and to the right, diagonally down and to the left. Good. Look to the left. And look to the right. Look down. Look up. Good. Look diagonally up either way. And then the other way. Diagonally down either way. And then the other way. Okay, just go ahead and follow my fingers here. Go up, down, up. Okay, so no lid flag there. Alright, you can blink a few times if you need to. CN3, 4, and 6. All intact. And then I'm just going to have you follow my fingers as they come in. And then out. And out. Out. Good. Fingers right here. In. And out. 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 Accommodation reflex is intact. Accommodation. Good. Let's take a peek at your ears, shall we? I'm just going to move your hair away from your ears. We're going to take a little look. And I'm just going to just take a look behind the ear. Good. And this side. Pull the hair back. Look behind the ear. And we are going to take a little peek inside the otoscope, let's grab our speculum. Where did my little speculums go? So, pop that on. Good. And I'm just going to have you just stay still for me. There we go. Okay. So, here we are. I can see the tympanic membrane is intact. The ears do not look irritated. The ear canals, rather. And good coloring, tympanic membrane. And then we've got, there's our landmarks. We have the tip of the malleus and the cone of light. Okay, normal coloration of everything. Normal looking anatomy there. Let's, okay. Right. There we go. Right in there. So that's a little bit better. And okay, so clear ear canal. And pearly gray tympanic membrane. Tip of the malleus, cone of light, no perforation, no bulging, signs of discharge. Okay, so that's good too. That is good too. Alright. So, upon inspection and otoscopy of the ears, present. There we are. So let's go ahead and change up the order a little bit, and I am going to grab some reflexes from you. This is a Taylor or Tomahawk hammer, the very first dedicated reflex hammer design. It's very old, over a century old. And, well, I suppose at this point it's almost 150. I think it was the 1880s. We are going to get our biceps reflex, triceps reflex. We're going to do the patellar and the ankle jerk as well. So, if I could have you put your arm on your leg like so, so that your hand can just hang freely between your legs, as if it's like a wet towel. Okay? And while it's nice and loose like this, I'm going to be tapping the back of your elbow, and we'll see if we can get that triceps reflex. There we go, that was a good one. And then I'm going to take hold of your elbow. I'm going to put my thumb in the crook of the elbow. I'm going to be tapping on my thumb there. Let's see if we can get that biceps reflex. Okay, right on there. And then, okay, got it on each one. If you could just do that for the other arm. Yep, just let everything go loose and limp. Let me just, okay. Need a little looser here. Your leg is just supporting the arm just hangs. We don't need any muscle tension interfering with the reflex arc there. Okay, so triceps. Good. And biceps. Let me go ahead and grab the arm. Just keep it loose. Nice. Very good. Okay. Now we're going to let the legs hang nice and loose. Luckily, the patellar reflex is pretty easy, huh? Yeah, you can even get that one using the side of your hand. You can actually get reflexes using the side of the stethoscope diaphragm as well, if you're in a pinch. And let's go ahead and grab these. Good jump. Good. No, that one was a little off. There we go. Excellent. Now the ankle jerk. I'm going to have you pop your foot up on my knee here. Okay, and I'm going to maneuver your foot. I'm going to hold on to it. And then we're going to get that Achilles tendon at the back of your ankle and just tap on that. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to the foot. And we're just going to tap on the back. Good. Good. Other foot. Okay, I'm going to hold on to it. Do a little maneuvering. We want just a little bit of tension. Good. There we go. That one was a little trickier. So let's put that down. Okay, so all our reflexes we tested are intact. And then I just want to take a peek at your arms, your hands, your legs and feet. So temperature, good, and smooth skin. And let's see, do you mind if I see your palms of your hands? Okay, so no contracture there, no palmar thickening. Circulation might be a bit slow. Let me show you. So my circulation can be quite slow. As you can see, while I firmly stroke my palm, the skin blanches. It turns pale. And then very slowly does it come back to the normal color. And I could do this, for example, right here. Very slow. Pretty sluggish. Within normal limits, but yours is a little quicker than mine, but still a bit sluggish. And thenar muscles, hypothenar muscles, no wasting. If I could see your backs of your hands. Nails look good, no xanthinomas, and no striping or dotting. Bit dry, but that's about everybody this time of year, yeah. Yep, no splitting. Clear, strong, feels like. And then joints are normal, non-tender, no heat associated with them. Good. Okay, yeah, no nodes, no, nothing there. Pretty normal. So let's take a peek at the legs. So we have to get skin abnormalities in the shins if we're gonna find them. At least the normal suspects. Okay, and let's feel the ankles. Okay, the feet are a little bit swollen, but it's pretty late in the day, isn't it? Yeah, you were one of my last patients here, so you've been walking around quite a bit. Yeah, okay. We'll keep an eye on that. I'll make a note. But no pitting edema here in the ankles, and the feet are warm, dry. Toes look good. Toenails are good. Okay. Alrighty, so we have one last thing to check on. Heart, lungs, abdomen. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath in, and we're just going to position this the lung apex here. And have you just take a deep breath in and out and listen to the lungs. Okay. Deep breath in and out. 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 There we are. And the heart here. Let's start with the aortic valve. And just breathe normally here. I'm just going to listen to the valve open and close, open and close. Pulmonary. The tricuspid. And the mitral valve here. Good. Good. Let's listen to the abdomen here. So I'm going to listen in each of our quadrants, but it's not as long of a listen to each spot as with the heart and the lungs. Listen to more spots, less for time. Good. Just listening to our digestive sounds here. And then let's listen to the renal arteries bilaterally here. Good. There's no bruise there. Nope. Okay. Good. to put this bad guy away for a bit. And I want to do some palpation on the abdomen. So tell me if there's any pain or tenderness at all. Then we're going to feel around some specific places. Anything? No? Okay. So, spleen, liver, kidneys, good. Okay. No guarding, non-tender, all of that are abdominal palpation. We've got normal heart sounds and normal lung sounds as well. So, well, you haven't been feeling very well, and we've had some irritated and puffy eyes. We have not had any sinus pain, which is good. Postnasal drip with dry nasal passages, irritated throat, and that pulse. I want to check the pulse one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21. So that would be 84 now. 84 beats per minute. So we went from 100, 94, 88, and then 84 is our final, which I am okay with, especially with you being ill. So, what is it that we've got going on? Probably a rhinovirus kind of situation, which is a fancy name for one of the more common causes of the common cold. So, rhino refers to the nose, nose virus, quite literally. But I think, especially with how dry your nose is, and maybe even how irritated your throat is, I wonder if maybe you're also dealing with some pretty dry air. Yeah, we've had a lot of cold snaps recently, and I know that I get a lot of nosebleeds around that time. Pretty diligent about the saline, but it just gets so dry. So if you have the ability to, adding humidity through a humidifier, or the old-fashioned way we used to do it is getting those aluminum pans from the grocery store, filling them with water, and if you have floor registers, you put them on those. As they heat up, the water evaporates and humidifies the air. Now, I can't do that anymore myself because I have cats that will tip, 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 all in the water. And otherwise, a saline spray, especially for the nose, will be a lot more comfortable. You can pick them up less than $5 at the grocery store. I think mine was maybe $2.50, something like that. And it's lasted quite a while. So just jot that down. As far as your physical examination, everything else looked great. I don't have any true concerns for you. We did have that bit of ankle swelling, and I do want to keep in mind the swelling in the lymph node. So then the next time we see you, we can check on that. Okay? Do you have any questions for me at all? Alrighty, lots of fluids, lots of rest. Definitely the fluids, you're not getting enough. So let me go ahead and just sign off here. and that'll be it. I'd like to thank you so much for coming in, keeping your physical appointment, and I'm glad we were able to figure out your little illness going on. It's never any fun. I hope you have a whale of a day. I hope it clears up soon. And a good rest of your night. Thank you.